friend of mine with insomnia, so he's up already. I've been chatting with him. I gave him the link last night, so
A Colorado friend with insomnia. I feel like you put that in there like it's supposed to be some sort of aspect of their personality, like a superhero quirk. I love it.
I'm just the time difference. I'm friends with the what?
You're friends with Aizawa? Sorry, that's an inside joke when it comes to My Hero Academia.
Apparently I need to catch up on that a lot now. Oh, no, now I understand what you're saying. No, Aizawa. He's got a much better personality.
Yay!
Grumpy. Yeah, I just wanted to explain why he's up so early, I guess.
Well, we are all set and ready to go. We are live.
Yay!
Yay! Hello, people!
Get me started, and I'll get you guys started.
Okay, this is D-Rez of Renegade Studios here with Artificial Imagination of Diet D&D, ready for another live session.
Oh.
We're ready to be hurt again.
Unfortunately, we can't have everybody with us, but that's how the weeks go. We can't always guarantee everyone's going to be here. That's how the system unfortunately works. But we will do what we can, and we make sure everyone is in the loop. Now then, players, thank you for joining me. Last weekend was interesting. You took the Midnight Star, and you finally made it to the icy north of the frozen north. The rudder seemed a little bit particularly interested and not interested at the same time of why you are going there. Left you to your devices as your ship sailed into the ice. The Midnight Star broke ice, and the party jumped off, looking for the demon Pharrell. Vivian seemed adamant to go with you. After moseying around some rot and some fur golems that Pharrell had apparently created to possibly be a source of food or income, Edgar whipped out a few tricks of his own. We had an interesting kind of midlife crisis shouting match in the snow. It was really great. We made our way to Pharrell's temporary home and found out where he's been living and what he's been doing for the past 3 years. Once infiltrated, he was very civil. Got information, which I will go over in just a moment. However, the problem herein lies, he recognized a certain one of you from his olden days. Divine intervention jumped in, and we ended off with Pharrell being slain by the party with a few wonderful nat 20s. However, Daniel's character Candela has been wiped from everyone's memory save for Edgar due to Euceline doing their own attempt at divine intervention. The battle was won, but at what cost? We managed to quickly trek back through the snow and hop back on board on the ship, which we will be starting at in just a moment. So, excuse me, as you guys race back as best you can through the snow, avoiding any inconveniences, you do manage to get back up on the Midnight Star, pull out of the ice, basically turn the ship fully around. The rest of the crew had been preparing for your departure, making sure the ship wasn't icing up. And the kobolds and the Minotaur happily bobbing just outside of the ice, waiting for you guys. Dirge has still got this look on his face like, I have no idea what we're doing, but I guess we're just here now. The kobolds are just happy to be here, rowing and keeping up with the ship. They're not really playing pirate, so to speak. They haven't gotten into any combat, but they're just pleased as punch, and you can see it on their little dumb faces. So, you guys mount back up on the ship, and you begin your 3-day trek back home. It is getting into the evening. You believe it's past 4 o'clock, but no one has seen any form or sign of Chips. You guys are very thankful you're out in the ocean and think that has a major aspect to play here that wherever chips may spawn really doesn't matter to you right now. So, before I open up free time, Candela, shall I say Daniel right now,
Yes.
please tell me what's going on. As you are kind of rushed back to the ship, Vivian kind of with her hand on your back. She hasn't really talked to you. No one's really said anything to you yet, and have just kind of gathered you up as a stranger. We get you back to the ship, and Vivian makes sure you are the first one on board before her. Immediate thoughts? Anything you want to say before we hit the ship, or just asking you in general?
I'm probably going to wind up just traveling in silence for a while because all of my friends don't remember me.
Correct. Alright. I will roll for a few missing people. Amans, if you will do a big favor and roll me a d12 this morning.
Oh boy. Okay.
2 and 3.
Just a D12, right?
Please.
Alright. Started rolling 2d20 and I was like, that's not what I was supposed to roll. 9! Maybe I won't suffer effects as much this time.
Unfortunately, it's not a scale, it is a randomizer.
Aww.
So, those who care to pay attention, as Stenwall gets back on the ship, he seems mostly pleased about everyone's conduct over on the ice, but is happy to get back on the ship. You see him shake his head for a moment. Maybe something on his mind. Who knows? Today, Argar is going to be a little bit fearful of things. And Amans, you are going to be a little bit stressed, worried, and or paranoid about things.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Alright then, get out of the way. Alright. Stonewall, your captain wonderfully gets everybody rolling as the ship sets down. And overly and everybody, as you guys, that we have of getting back to the atrium as soon as we can, of which we will go more to in just a moment. So, tells everyone to get back to the post, do as your captain needs, and I assume everyone kind of goes off to their stations. Alright. Daniela, or Daniel, pardon, I'm gonna get used to that.
Right?
This woman that you are familiar with, your CEO that you were aware of, turns to you after everyone kind of get back to the shiply duties. Point blank, firmly grasps you at the shoulders and looks you straight in the eyes with this sternest, judgmental, I'm gonna look through your soul face and says, You stowed away on our ship.
Yes.
I want you to tell me now. Want you to tell me your intention. You are outnumbered, and we will not hesitate to throw your ass overboard. Just be honest, and we'll be as good about this as we can. Her words kind of cut into you slightly, and you realize if this was your actual CEO in the visage you remember her, she would be intimidating your ass.
I want to tell her that Pharrell killed a lot of my friends. I wanted to return the favor.
Her eyes kind of meet the deck of the ship as she looks up for a moment. She nods, a little bit of a sigh. She says, "Yes, I feel that this particular demon broke into our company and killed a lot of employees. A lot of good employees. So if that is true, I can sympathize with you on that. What is your name?"
Willow. Willow Wisp.
Willow. She looks you up and down, trying to figure you out. All right, Willow. What is your purpose here? What are you trying to do?
Well, at this point, I am under your custody, apparently.
Ha 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 ha. She kind of laughs to herself. True. True. She seems to lighten the mood a little bit.
So it doesn't seem to me that, I have any room to have any plans.
Alright. You were fighting a demon. So that means you have some aspect of good on you. Or that you are an interesting, chaotic evil. She bluntly says. She looks around for a moment. I'm in charge. My name is Vivian Amber-Rose. You will stay on this top deck where we can see you, please.
Absolutely.
And I won't put you in the brig. Excuse me. And I won't put you in the brig, she clarifies.
Noted.
Can you comply with that?
Do I have a choice? I just say with a smile.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard to trust strangers. I want to believe the best in people. You don't seem that bad. She looks around. Edgar! She sees you and calls over to you.
He'll look up and meander over.
She just kind of holds up a hand to prevent you from coming over, since you know you can hear her. She points to the newcomer in her perspective, says, "Willow is not to leave the top deck unless I know about it. Please keep an eye on her."
He will nod.
Thank you.
I can
You're
make
heading-
Can I just verify that she in fact told Edgar to quote unquote keep an eye on her? Y'all know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, and I like it already.
That's nasty shit.
There's a little buzzing noise, and Willow, you feel something. You turn and look at it. It's an eyeball with legs.
I figured as much, yes, okay.
Nasty shit.
I applaud this.
Right.
Really?
Vivian looks to you and says, "Going home? Back to Biama. I suppose we'll figure out what to do with you from there. Please don't regret me not putting you in the brig.
I will do my best to live up to your expectations.
She kind of furrows her brow slightly. For a stowaway, you certainly know what you should be doing, and I appreciate that.
I just nod.
She kind of gives you kind of a half smile and a nod, and she heads off back up to speak with Stanwell, and you are left with these other interesting people on board.
I just look around.
I'm sorry?
I just look around. All around me are familiar faces.
And what that place is?
Yep.
Willow, I would expect you to tend to a certain something you briefly spoke about before, but we'll get to you in just a moment. For everybody else, information saying that Carolyn spoke about gifts from the sky. Carolyn was contacting people with these fractals. Apparently, Pharrell was also on board this fractal train and able to hear Carolyn. Much like two of our metalheads here.
Karen, you.
Was asking about magic and possibilities and the most pertinent thing you guys should be able to take away from what Pharrell said was that Carolyn spoke of some sort of deep critter, a brain sucker from the Underdark he calls 127. If you remember, Stonewall had pocketed a book that was 127 that spoke of a test subject that Carolyn had a very difficult time with and sacrificed an arm to get to help with his plans. This was also one of the books referenced in the initial recordings back in Lost City that you guys could not find because Stonewall had secretly snagged it. By the description of a deep critter and a brain sucker, only a few creatures meet that description. After that. Yes, this is something you guys can discuss on your own time. Or in-game, whenever, just letting you know that was said. But at some point, Vivian does basically let you know, most likely on the way back to the ship, that the name Goddartho was mentioned by Pharrell. And if you will remember, Goddartho is one of the dwarves that is a council representative at the Atrium, but unfortunately has been missing the last couple of meetings and has been replaced by a stand-up. So that obviously seems suspicious. Vivian seems very inclined to have to get back in a hurry. She will also go around kind of, if not one by one or all together. Actually, you know what? Oh, this works. She will seemingly try to get her things together. She speaks with Stonewall briefly. Then she will, over the call, everyone's attention. Right? Cares if you'd like to move your tokens roughly to the back near these steps. Vivian just wants to publicly announce things. While this is going on, Willow, you are left alone for a moment if you would like to do something.
Yes, I would like to pull out my piece of black parchment and just quickly write down.
Hey, sorry, quick question. Where am I?
Oh, I apologize, Tamons. I did not copy your token over.
Thank you.
I took a few people off last week, so I apologize.
No, that's fine. I didn't think I was going to be able to join until now. Actually, there
is. Yard
selling.
Ooh, there is a Robo Buddy. Try that.
Drives past your house. Can I buy your yard?
Oh my god. No, they should still be open too once we're done. So, I just don't know who else is in there.
Excuse me.
My dad sent out a map. I don't think I was part of that, email list.
Alrighty. Willow, other than a few deckhands and NPCs that are running around, still, just doing maintenance and keeping the ship sailing proper, that really can't leave their post or do their best to listen in. You're pretty much left alone on the deck of the ship, save for a hawk that rests on the side of the ship, just kind of looking around, just kind of enjoying the view as best it can. That you are very familiar with, that it has no owner now.
I think I'm going to just kind of head over to the edge near the hawk and just pull
You're
up.
familiar with Fourth Paul?
Yes.
It looks to you, it seems to either recognize you or, as you don't know if animals can convey, I don't know who you are, since this animal seems very sociable.
Right.
It acknowledges you. This is giving you a good look.
I just realized something.
Yeah.
When we get back, is the Willows.
Okay, now keep going. I think you're going in a different direction than I was
Yeah.
expecting.
Is Willow's familiar going to recognize her?
No.
That is a question.
I'm sorry, I had to bring it up.
I'm glad you did, but no, it's probably not, because everyone's memory of the previous Candela is totally gone. Everybody's. Including my toad.
No!
Yes, Willow, what would you like to do? You pulled out a black piece of parchment from your pockets.
I want to write out that I don't know if you, all capital letters, remember me or not. But
Just that?
no.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I needed some explanation, please.
You write the words down, and much like before, when the words finish writing on this dark piece of parchment, it does fade away. And very, very promptly, again, you get a response from the only person you know this could possibly be. Says, of course I remember you. Voltus works in weird ways. We must obey it like an order. I'm assuming this is not the best. He seems to phrase it like that.
Well, oh man, okay.
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit there.
Yeah, so did you.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Where did I cut out at, or did you get that?
I got that this works similar to an order.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize it's not the best.
It seems like, yeah, he phrases it. You could tell it's either he's in mid-thought or he's not sure of where this is meant to be going, conversation-wise.
What is
You
my
write back?
mission? What do they want?
You get a response back that writes out, your mission, he puts in quotations, is to keep the balance of good and evil, more so good. But unfortunately, Foltus is a stickler for the old ways and prefers olden methods, which are totally has-been. But it's his rules.
I just write one word. Damn.
Which word you cut out?
Damn.
I'm sorry, I'm getting like the tail end of that word. I think your microphone's having a hard time. I can't be on Discord at the same time. Crazy.
He
Like a
just
fox.
said damn.
Oh,
I don't know if that's what he wrote or not.
I
Yes.
assume that's what you read.
It is what I wrote. I'm sorry, I can't help it. My computer's trying to do so many things at once.
That's okay. Excuse me. Again, it's just I can. Foltus may have rules. That doesn't mean we can't bend them. But I need permission from you.
Rules are more like guidelines. Bend away.
You get a response, which is uncharacteristic of your manager, but you get it. A response that says, "Now you got it."
I kind of put the paper away now because I've got the answer and stuff I need for now. And I look at Fourth Paul and it's like, I just say to Fourth Paul, it looks like we're both alone now.
Resonates again. As you've stowed away, you don't believe he's done speaking with you.
Oh, okay, I pull it out.
When I asked if you want help, I kind of mean now. I am busy.
Help? How?
You just get a simple okay back. Staring out over the edge of the railing off into the ocean as you were sailing away from the ice. Much like back at Thorel's little igloo, your peripheral gets clouded for a moment and you believe you see the visage of Sabrak alone, kind of like maybe about 20 feet in front of you, just kind of floating in midair. You can tell he's not actually there, but it's almost like a psychic projection. He seems to walk up close to you for a moment, the railing spanning the difference between you and him. Okay, he says. I know this is inconvenient, and I'm sorry, but I hope you understand I'm following orders too.
I just nod.
So what's your new name?
Willow.
Willow. Okay. He sighs and he digs into his pockets a little bit. He rolls his neck around a couple of times with a big sigh. I will do this later. Oh, you? And so far, it's been right ever since I found you. So, this later. He holds out his hand, palm up towards you.
I reach for it? I reach for his hand.
No. I'm sorry?
I reach for his hand.
I mean, you can reach him. He's right here.
Okay.
He kind of motions like as if you have set your hand in my hand. Like, come on.
I do so.
Do you lay it palm down or the back of your hand down?
Palm down.
Okay. Very good. As soon as you touch contact, you feel Sabrak's hand. It feels real. He feels real. But as soon as you do, there's a slight spark you can see from between your hands, and you feel a very sharp pinprick pain on the underside of your hand. Right hand or left hand?
Well, which hand does he have extended?
I would say he had his right hand out.
Then I would probably be countering with my left.
Okay. So you instantly recoil in pain. And you look, and there is now a slight inscription on your palm that just looks like the mark of Foltest. It's very faint, but you can see it.
And now I need to wear a glove.
Looks to you and said, looks to you and says, "Don't worry.
You get it.
You're the only one who can." Very good. You're the only one who can see this, unless they're working for Foltest, like me. So don't worry about that. As of right now, he kind of sighs, and you can tell he's got a demeanor on himself, like he's doing something he really shouldn't be, but he'll suffer the consequences later. And he says, "Everything's back to normal. Kind of. Your name is Willow. You got a name change. Don't miss a beat. Everything, just, you got it. You're fine."
Do I need to worry about anything at this moment?
Like what?
Just in general, besides the normal dangers that I'm surrounded by. Do I need to watch what I say? Or just keep trying to avoid people knowing about...
Oh. Well, kind of, yeah, but he was probably the biggest contender. Vivian's next, but she'll be fine. Unless you have any old friends from the olden days, I think you're pretty okay, but yeah, don't go telling your whole backstory.
No, not at all. And Vivian's smart. She'll know not to understand it too much if she does figure it out.
I've got Vivian under wraps, it's okay.
Thumbs up.
And are you going to talk about this? He kind of says a little bit uncharacteristically. How did you... He kind of looks over and you see he's looking over where Vivian is at, giving everyone a lecture. Was anyone going to know about this?
About what in specific?
Alright, I will prepare you guys the best case I can when you get back. Interesting. Alright. Good job.
I seriously have no idea what he's talking about. About what?
I'm sorry. You believe Sabrak, the vision of Sabrak who was talking to you, could see Brooks Vivian up on the ship. And he now kind of realizes, oh, that's Vivian. Oh, she's here. Were you going to tell anybody about this?
I was gonna tell you, but then all this other stuff happened. Everyone here knows that it's Vivian.
So, his words still remain the same. He's going to make a case for you when you get back. He seems a little nervous slightly.
Well, we want... The Wand of Wonder did a miracle.
He kind of... Well, he shakes his head for a moment, then looks down and realizes you mean Bartleby's wand?
Mm-hmm.
He gives a nod. Good. I need to get things prepared for when you get back.
I just nod and say I'm sorry to make your workload heavier.
Have you seen my workload? I don't do anything. Give me something to do. Thank you.
The original Aizawa.
He gives you a nod, and just like that, he seems to fade. Everybody here has no trouble remembering their friend Willow, who has been with them from the start, way back from the dungeon bubble. Everything is perfectly fine. Everything is perfectly normal. This is Willow Wisp, Willow Wisp, who has been with you from the start.
Yay!
More importantly, that's old news. Vivian's called you over because Vivian has an important thing she wants everyone to be aware of, and publicly announces that everyone does know she is Vivian. And she addresses, she says, she kind of explains everything that's happened. She tried to give an interrogation to a prisoner in Aegon, who's one of the lackeys of the vampire. Caught her off guard. They did a body swap situation. It doesn't seem to be a classic body swap spell. We need to get back to the atrium. We need to figure out what we're going to do. She kind of openly addresses everybody and says, I need everyone here to help me greatly. Once we get back, there will be a waiting crew for me. I appreciate the impromptu-ness of being brought here and being rescued, but you do realize that now the Kingdom of Aegon is missing a prisoner, and technically you are now harboring a prisoner with no explanation. Once we get back, we will need to be able to properly prove I am who I am, and the false Vivian is not the real Vivian. We can't tell anyone via Sending Stone. That will be suspicious. Best we can do is just get back and deal with it then. I'm asking this branch particularly, I like you guys, I need you to help me make a case that I am who I say I am. And she kind of just leaves that to linger as you guys begin to comprehend what she just said.
I would like to tell her that I'm fairly certain that Sabrak is willing to work with us because he figured out that you weren't you.
She kind of gives you a bit of a furrowed brow as if to say, how did you know that? But then she kind of shakes it off for a moment because you think she kind of gets it a little bit that, oh, he's probably, like, you think she doesn't know that Cerebric's in league with you with Boltus, but you could tell from her a little bit of a motions and gestures on her face that, oh, yeah, Cerebric's on a higher level shit. He probably already figured it out.
Yeah.
So you get that expression. Mm-hmm. Says that's a start.
Sabrak is higher level shit.
Yes. She says, I have no clue what to tell the Atrium and to how to prove I am who I say I am.
Do you still have access to any of your signature spells or anything like that?
This woman doesn't know magic. She holds her hands up and looks to you. I can't do any spells. Or at least I can't seem to do any spells from this form.
Okay. Because I was about to flip out, because Vivian was, let me, now that every player character knows, Vivian was my magic teacher back in the original campaign.
Mm. Mm. She says, I don't know how you guys can help, but I would greatly appreciate it. I expect you all understand that the imposter Vivian is working for the Isaias. She seems to have a hard time figuring out the right word to say. The vampire. And it is the utmost importance to prove I'm me. However, I don't share my personal life with the people of the atrium. So I don't think it'll exactly be the best idea of just, ask questions I would only know. They don't know much about me. That's not work related. And it kind of dawns on you guys. You don't see your CEO often, but you don't know much about your CEO either on her free time. You know, you guys live at the tower. You're residing at the tower. The staff members like Gregor, Garricus, Iridelis, and those guys, they work at the tower, but they have homes they go to, families, friends. You don't know if Vivian has anyone else to go home to, or if she has a home to go to. You don't know what she does on her free time. So you guys are in the same boat here. You're going to have to figure out a case when you get back.
Well, I mean, we've been on the same boat for a couple sessions now.
I wonder if it's not as much of a case as proving that this is the real Vivian as proving the other one is not.
I would agree. If we can prove that the other one is completely incompetent as Vivian Amberbros, then this one should be a shoo-in.
Well, the other one was a complete and utter coward, let's not forget that.
Right. I'm fairly certain that if we just put them under an immense amount of pressure, they will crack like glass.
Awesome. So are you guys voicing this out loud, by the way?
Yes.
That'd be great. Because Vivian chimes up with this. She says, that's a very good point. However, we can't rule out the fact that she had to have gotten some knowledge. She is able to be in my place without anyone immediately questioning her or to the brig. So she has some form of information about or from me. But I'm sure not everything.
Wait a minute. Me suddenly looking through... me filtering through demon tools going like, wait a minute, I have certain things that might help. but also not sure if it will help in this particular scenario because there's a Edgar's going to voice this, that there's a thing he can do, but in order to do it, he has to make sure that there has in fact been a soul swap instead of just a mind swap.
I'm pretty sure it's just a mind swap, but it doesn't seem normal of the normal transfer spell. She says, well, we have time, we'll talk about this. As for now, just keep it in the back of your mind. If you come up with something, that's great. I don't want to take the limelight from our captain. Let's please continue on our way. We still have things to do.
Edgar's gonna pipe up one last thing. He's gonna need some time to fix it, but if he can get Evil Mask fixed before we hit landfall, the real Vivian here, Brooks, can use it as a disguise so that we don't have to. So that might be able to buy us some time.
She says, I don't know how well that's going to go over, but I appreciate that.
Yeah. Just tossing that out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. With that, she lets you guys know you guys are going to be waiting, or there's people going to be waiting when you get back, but that said, that's done. We'll deal with that then. She turns the control back over to the captain. Captain gives her the utmost respect, and Stonewall pretty much just tells you guys, okay, let's get back to work.
All right.
It's afternoon. You guys have some free time as you are just sailing back home.
I want to make sure that the cannons are in peak performance.
Yes. Speaking of which, I would, but I think I don't need to have anyone roll to be able to do duties right now. There is no pressure going on, so everyone is able to do their officer duties without any problems. Unfortunately, we don't have a few people that would make this a little more interesting, but c'est la vie. Anyone have anything as we kind of hit some free time as we get into the evening?
In case there's a boss battle coming up, do we want to repair the ship more, or?
Absolutely, that is a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. I can effectively say we can go around and top up sections 3 and 4 from 294 to 300. So the second half of the ship, from the main mast to the aft, is now at full health. Ooh, I apologize. I got this backwards. It is the hull, I mean the deck of the ship. Excuse me. The section 1 and section 2 are at 585. I will effectively roll for Glosson this morning, being the ship's carpenter, but I will need help with whoever wants to volunteer to help repair the front half of the ship and get some health points back to it.
I have mending. Will that help?
It will aid. It will not be 100%. If you want to roll me a d20 for effectiveness, that's what I will need at first.
Okay.
It will be just enough, and I'll roll for some NPCs. Wonderful.
17.
Very good. Okay. Noah, please roll me 8d10 and multiply it by 2.
You said 8d10?
8d10. Oops. Oh. $42. Alright. 94. Alright, Naora, what do you have?
I got 30.
In total?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be 60. So you gain 60 points. 2 on number 2. So section 2 is at full health at 600 points. The NPCs will only get 1 round. 8d10. And 494. Alright, you guys, so currently the ship seems to be very well off. Section 1, the bow of the ship is at 549 out of 600 hit points. The rest of the ship is, the deck and the ship itself are perfectly fine. The hull is roughly at like 280 out of 300 for the entirety. So hull's still pretty good. Good job, guys. You've made it halfway and the ship's not, well, halfway destroyed. Congratulations.
Did we want to top that off at all, or no?
Unfortunately, we're not going to really be able to do much on the hull itself. You're going to be able to repair the ship proper.
Okay.
Mending's unfortunately not going to really do much for the steel hull, especially from the positions with everybody.
Oh, I have a different thing. That's why I was asking.
Oh, what were you thinking?
I have a tool called Evil Carpenter that is specifically for repairs. I can summon 1d6 like little carpenter things that will and carpenter, it's a loose term, but it's actually a thing called Evil Carpenter.
Okay, if you want to say you wanted to you wanted to invoke that, I can perfectly heal up the back half of the hull, but the front of the bow will still be a little bit damaged.
Okay.
Okay, so you work your magic with that, and Fix a little bit of the hull. Good job, guys. Your ship
It's like
is
little wooden
still perfectly
skeletons. It's like wooden skeletons appear and fix things.
good. Appropriate. I love it.
Pinocchio?
Alrighty. The day continues. You are sailing out of the ice. Get rid of some ice.
Ice. Sailing out of the ice.
Lottie, up in the crow's nest, has been relaying the past couple of hours of travel that there appears to be a storm roughly heading your way. You think you're going to be going into a storm sometime tonight. The captain has been making preparations accordingly and making sure that hatches are going to be closed. Relays to... Who has this job? Naora, you are the sailing master. The captain specifically orders you to make sure that if we run into the storm, that the sails are to be pulled up so the mast will not snap.
Okay, do I need to roll anything for that or anything? Or just
No.
I just know how to do it?
You will know how to do it, but you will need to roll for an officer roll when we get to that, if we get to that.
Okay.
But he's just giving you orders. He makes sure Artemis knows we're going to be sailing into waves if there's any waves. And of course, relaying to everybody, he's briefing everybody about like storm protocol, saying that if there are any rogue waves or anything, everyone is to be to brace themselves as expected. He almost seems to be slightly hyping himself up because as of right now, it looks like you guys are going to be hitting a storm tonight. That being said, the evening continues. In preparation for what is going to be sailing into a storm, what are you guys doing? What do, how do, talk, etc., etc.
Well, Edgar has dropped down a few of these, how many of the... Yeah, it was two. Two of those skeleton things. So those went about and repaired things. Otherwise, he's gonna be on the deck as the first mate most of the day, but in the evening, if there's not as much for him to call, he's gonna go down to the quarters and start fixing Evil Mask, because he's been wanting to do that for a while.
Okay, fair. Anybody else that is with me today want to give me any flavor before we move on?
Not particularly in this instance.
None of y'all want to be a flavorful little ramen seasoning packet.
Sure, Gloss and wood, but unfortunately Gloss is out here today.
We've added too much water. It's more like soup.
But that's where ramen is.
Excuse me. Alright. So, evening progresses. Waters get choppier. Clouds get darker. A storm. Let's see here. Let's do this. I'm not the best map maker, but I'll say this works. Let's pull one of these bad boys out and do one of these.
Oh, good lord.
Oh no.
What was that? Let's just do this.
It's just gonna it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh great, we're in a thunderstorm now.
I've seen Stephen King's The Fog.
yes.
Things are gonna start crawling out of it.
Ew.
Yes, thank you.
Oh no.
Cross between Stephen King and probably Sharknado at this rate.
Dude,
And now everything's black. What?
It
is
That's a heavy fog.
That is very heavy fog, yes.
nighttime, and it is very cloud covered.
Oh, there it is. There we are.
I panicked. I was like, what?
All right, guys, your first storm.
Oh, fog's rolling in my actual house. Crap.
Wow, the DM is really powerful.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that verbatim.
The DM is Bill Cipher.
Someone turn on a fan and start pouring water on themselves. Let's get hyped up. Alrighty.
My buddy in the comments is texting me and he said, thunderstorm, more like after God fart.
Nice. Okay,
I had to read that one on stream. That was glorious.
so a storm rolls in, waters get choppy, and you guys begin to feel the effects of waves and the like. The wind picks up. Okay, guys, Captain orders everyone batten down the hatches and basically hang on. Be to your posts. Do as you're told. I need everyone to roll me a d20 for their officer duties in a storm
Oh boy.
as we sail.
Come on, Edgar. Freaking.
Great. Great.
10 or lower. Otherwise, you're
Ah,
fine.
19!
Good.
Can you bring some of that to my dice, please? Because I got a 3.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
So I got a 19.
Good. Sieg, what'd you get?
18.
Very good.
Amon's got 3.
Oh no. Okay. So Willow, you're still our very lovable, semi-awkward quarter health that everyone knows and loves.
Wait,
You decided to
quarter
run
health?
down
You never healed?
Quarter elf.
H-E-L-F.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Quarter hell elf.
Okay.
Health.
That sounded like health. I got very concerned for a moment.
No, it's okay. So, Willow, you run down to the gun deck and are just you're checking everything, battening down hatches, etc., etc. There are people on the gun deck who are maintaining the cannons as per normal. You manage to not realize you do the same thing. You are giving everyone a round of good worships and good sayings, but it's coming across as the wrong terminology. And they again are looking at you like, what are you trying to tell us? Why are you telling us to shoot things that aren't there?
Wait, no, I just remembered something.
Yes, please.
Didn't I get I talked with the captain to better understand my job. Don't I get advantage because I talked to him and I learned the terminology that I should be using?
I'll give you an advantage roll. Go for it.
Watch it be a 1.
Good job.
14.
So you do exactly that, and they look at you like, "What are you saying?" And then you realize what you are saying, and you instantly correct yourself.
Good.
Alrighty. Amans, you go down to the cargo hold and check everything. They've organized things you're not too pleased about. It's not the way you would do it, but I guess it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
It's not perfect. The ship's rocking slightly, and one barrel does manage to come loose and kind of rolls to the side. It shifts back and it rolls to the other side, and back again and it rolls to the other side, and you realize it's just one barrel. It wouldn't be a problem if you sorted this where you felt it should go, right?
Exactly. Not a problem at all.
Right? Then you look over, there's another barrel. It's another barrel. We got plenty of barrels. You could sort another one. And then there's another barrel.
What barrels are there gonna be?
There's a lot of barrels here. You can show them. You can sort this properly. Sort this efficiently, like you should.
Yeah, why not?
So again, you start sorting to your own accord. Unfortunately, the captain's busy maintaining things on deck and does not immediately notice this. No one has a nat 20, so no one else really notices Amon's rearranging in the cargo hold. Interesting. Amon, as you organize as best you can, I mean, it makes much more sense now.
Alrighty.
You're happy with what you've done.
I bet I am.
Alphabetized by title in Elven. Got it.
Probably.
Even Sprocket seems a little bit impressed.
Heck yeah.
Alrighty. So for the most part, everyone does manage to do their duties good enough to keep this ship afloat. It is pouring rain, cold wind. It is absolutely miserable. What are you guys doing? How are you feeling? What's going on?
I'm below deck with the cannon still.
Edgar's on deck with a, Edgar's on deck with a rain cloak, just making sure things are going smoothly. Watching for anybody to see if we're in any serious danger. How high are the waves? Or are the waves not too bad?
They're enough to rock the ship. They're not splashing over the deck or anything yet? Question mark. Could be worse, but it's a good storm.
Pretty sure Sea's below deck right now.
Alrighty. Willow Warden is down there with you, being the, well, kind of the secondary cannoneer here. I need to know who is on deck and who is not. Sieg, I will put you down here with these three, assuming you are below deck. Excuse me. I don't know if Glosson would be above or below deck, but I believe Glosson would probably be nearest to Edgar. I'm going to put Glosson up on top deck. Amons, I assume you are in the cargo hold? Once you are done, where would you like to be?
In like the gunnery areas.
The gun
I
deck?
assume that's.
You don't want to be on top deck?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I just need to know if you're going to be up on top deck in the rain.
No, I think I'll be one deck below.
Okay. What you doing here? And Neora. Argon's going to be trying to be the tough guy and be up deck.
I'll be on top deck.
Okay. Alrighty. Hours of the ship rocking. Unpleasantness in general. It's not a fun time. You'll hear from high up in the crow's nest, Lottie's doing her best. She's got some form of a rain cloak. She's trying to make a tent. She's trying to keep herself dry instead of wearing it like a normal person. She'll ring the bell a little bit that can hardly be heard amongst the occasional crash of thunder and lightning. And she'll shout that there's another one of the weird birds. And you'll see a few seagulls flying past quickly as if to try and get out of the rain. Whoever's on the top deck that cares to, you will see it land just about the top railing, just in front of the helm. It is one of these scouts, these mangy birds with the arcane eye. And again, a very familiar voice of the rudder does kind of echo out, slightly muffled by the rain, possibly muffled on their side as well. I believe they're in a storm as well. Possibly the same storm, or the storm is probably larger than you think. don't know what y'all did up in the frozen north, but I see you've made it out in one piece. Good job. Those below deck hearing the voice as well.
Amons will ask Sprocket to kindly go get the bird.
Actually, I actually wanted to use my tongue whip and try to see if I can like wrap it and like crush it.
Okay. Leo, you're immediately closest, so you're going to get to it first, but Amons, if you want to do that, Sprocket will hop down and immediately run as if to go up on top deck to find said bird.
Thank you. Yes, please.
So now, without hesitation, you summon a thorn whip and snatch this bird. It almost snaps in half at your grasp. The bird dead. Not given a chance. The bird lies dead in your thorny grasp. Sprocket hits the top of the steps, and rain. Rain. I'm wet. The displeasant cat. No. I don't know how Sprocket really feels about water, so.
What about the arcane eye? Is it still functional, or did it like?
I'll get to that in just a second. You did not crush that. You crushed the bird. Amons, how does Sprocket do with water?
Oh man. I'm gonna guess that Sprocket dislikes water.
Just probably not over exaggerating, but just like, I don't want to be in the rain.
Yeah. But I think Sprocket will also listen to Amons. So I think they're gonna retrieve what they can of the bird. And then try to do that in the quickest manner possible.
So this cat does not like, the cringe, just, I'm getting wet, oh lord, okay. And manages to look around quickly enough to see the now dead seagull in Naora's grasp, quickly scampers over and almost effortlessly plucks it from her grasp and brings it down to you. Naoris, the random cat just jumps up here and snagged your kill. So Amon, Sprocket brings back a dead seagull with an eyeball. Good job. It apparently killed the bird for you.
I reward Sprocket with treats and pets.
The eyeball looking around to everybody below deck. Those above deck see another seagull come out of this cloudy mass and land somewhere else nearby. So, presumably in the same area. I applaud your gumption. It'll be that much better when I take this vessel from you. However, our meeting will have to be delayed. Storms are not the place for being chivalrous, shall we say. It's a storm. And if you guys can fashion through this, then that will be all the better to prove my trophy. Good luck, seafarers. And you see the seagull on deck fly up with the rest of them. The eyeball below deck still wildly looking around to the few of you who it sees.
So Sprocket being a cat, I think would be very captivated by this eyeball and how it's moving around. So I think that Sprocket would figure out how to detach it from the bird and essentially just start playing with it. Like rolling it between paws really quickly. That's what
absolutely, it's roughly about the size of a softball.
Oh yeah, prime toy material then.
Oh yeah. It actively does this as this arcane eye is being played with by this cat. It still seems to be active and still seems to be retaining visual. And for as well as you understand, you believe you could still communicate if you care. And but yeah, that is happening.
Oh, nice.
Hey, guys. What's up?
What is going on?
I'm gonna need you guys to up your RP game today. I know we don't have our normal crowd, but come on, please.
Sorry, I was suddenly getting spammed with a whole bunch of Discord notifications, but it was from a different thing, so. Let's see, on top deck, Edgar's still going to be looking out for any more of those scouts, and just to make sure if everything is secure in case the waves get worse.
Edgar, after the rudder seems to have taken his leave, you don't see any more sign of scouts. Or at least they seem to be retreating or leaving.
Okay. Ooh, I could do something here, but at the same time, should I?
If you ever have to ask yourself, should I or should I not, you always should.
But at the same time, I don't know how it would go. I was thinking about having one of the eyeballs follow the scouts,
Ooh, please.
or attached to one of the scouts.
You think? Yeah, if you want to do that, I endorse that.
Can I have one of the eyeballs fly up and kind of attach to the underside of one of these mangy seagulls?
Yeah, it does. It effortlessly does so. You get no audio response from the rudder. You're not sure if they notice or don't care.
Okay.
I will remind me about this, and I will tell you what it sees when it gets there.
Okay, yeah. Because those things don't really have a range on them.
Right, I was gonna say, just remind me in, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes or something, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
But for all intents and purposes, it's just, you just see clouds.
Makes sense.
Alright.
Yeah. The eyeballs can be active without him actually, like, using them to see. Fun fact, when demonic power actually gets low, those things get a mind of their own and they just start doing whatever the hell they want.
Oh, interesting.
Including, and I have canonically seen this, sitting down, reading a newspaper, and smoking a cigarette.
Kendall, you suddenly get a really weird urge as one of these things crawls on your shoulder a little more.
I'm sorry, who?
Willow, excuse me. Yeah, Willow. I applaud you, sir. All right. The storm continues. It is unpleasant. That's taking it lightly. The waves get a little worse. The ship starts tossing more. The captain is doing his best to make sure that everyone is at peak performance to make sure nothing happens. It's dark. It is pitch dark, save for the few feeble light sources you guys try to keep maintained on the ship. Wet, everything is soaked. Those below deck are still getting wet in different forms and manners.
Oh dear, leaks everywhere.
Well, the ship's not airtight, but yes. It's cold, the wind is strong, it is unpleasant, to say the least. Those on the top deck, please roll me a perception check.
Oof.
That's a
To
no.
pull up Edgar's again so that I can see what his modifier is. I can't remember what his... The heck? There. Can't remember what his perception modifier is.
Perception is 18 plus 3, so that is 21.
Nice, okay.
And for me, it's 16.
Okay. And everybody else is below deck. Interesting. Okay. So the two of you notice amidst a few of these lightning flashes, there seems to be something that is on the third mast, just before the quarterdeck at the top. There seems to be a large, dark mass that is easily resting on the top rigging. You believe if Lottie were to be able to turn around and be able to see in the light, she could see this thing. But you guys see a large, dark figure resting
Oh boy.
right here, top mast.
Can I send one of the eyeballs to go check that out?
Absolutely. So you do exactly that. And the eyeball flies up, and it's basically like a silhouette effect. You can't really tell the depth of this thing. It's a large mass, a little bit larger than a person, but it's not spherical in nature. But it's fuzzy, furry, maybe. It's not perfectly smooth. But it's hard to tell what this thing is or consists of, because again, the visibility is poor, and the rain's having a hard effect on it as well with cloud cover. But the eyeball does look around slightly, and there's about 4 or 5 of these things up in the masts. Lottie should be able to see these things. Below deck, those of you who are, I assume, just watching a cat roll around an arcane eye. Finally hear the rudder chime up and give a chuckle to himself. I appreciate some frivolity in my enemies. You are quite an interesting crew, I must say. Seems to enjoy the silliness of this cat.
Aww.
It's because cats are the best.
They are.
We don't get cats out here often. A delicacy.
Can I just turn to Alf or something?
Yeah.
I didn't know Alf was in this game.
I do appreciate those smart enough to be below deck in a storm. I can see my new opponents here are not inadept. I am but a man who seems to try and be fair in a court game. So I wish your fellow, we'll say, team members that are presumably not below deck do their best with the pitch feathers. Good luck.
So, quick question.
Yes?
What is the gender of the person who's on the other side of the arcane eyes?
The rudder sounds very baritone. He seems to be male.
I just assumed it was a lady this whole time.
Oh no, that's fine. I apologize. I can only do so many accents.
Yes, one.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And a shitty French accent. That's shitty.
Oh boy.
If you've ever seen Whose Line and you see the many accents of Colin Mockery, that's Will.
Yes. It's funny because it's true.
Hey, you do a damn good Jeff Goldblum.
Hot dog.
Honestly, the only impression you ever need.
Yes.
Okay.
Accurate.
So,
So, if anyone below deck, Willow, pitch feathers rings a really big red flag for you.
wait, could you repeat that? You cut off a little bit.
If anything, for those who hear this below deck, Willow, pitch feathers rings a really, really big red flag for you.
Yes, I was about to ask.
Okay. About to ask what?
Are these exactly what I think they are?
You've only heard one thing referenced as pitch feathers before, and you believe that is correct.
Great, we're in for shit. I am immediately stowing away my Incinidagger.
And you believe it would be best to run up and let your fellow team members know.
I want to.
Whatever matter you would like.
I would like to.
Okay, how would you like to?
I run up there, and I just... The pitch feathers are cultists!
Edgar's gonna turn and kind of look at you like, the who, what now?
The Razor Crest cultists! They're highly flammable.
Edgar's gonna look around, and then look up to the black masses and kind of silently point and give you a look of those things? He wasn't aware they were called pitch feathers until now.
Oh, shh!
Did Willow just put something together?
I draw my weapon.
There's a scream from the crow's nest as Lottie quickly and panically readies her weapon as one of these large figures unfurls its gigantic wings.
Wait.
Flash of lightning. There are several of these things on your ship.
I forgot. Aren't the winged ones even more dangerous?
Correct?
Yes.
There's this otherworldly screech that accompanies her scream, and a cliched, perfectly timed lightning strike and clap of thunder. As these things take off, as Lottie lets a shot ring off, and these things begin to start swarming around the ship, fading in and out of the fog. Captain shouts for everyone to man their battle stations.
Okay, we said they're flammable, right?
Highly.
Alright. So Willow just took off. The other two, Amand and Sieg, that are below deck, do you follow or you just stay here? Do you care? Having heard all this as well?
I look at Amand and go, should we follow this person?
Sorry, you look at me about if we should follow?
Yeah.
No, because Mons is paranoid today. So they're gonna stay below deck at their position.
I love it.
Whatever.
Immediately, Artemis, Lottie, and Pelly kind of give this familiar shout to each other. Willow, you are familiar. They are very familiar with these guys as well. You hear Vivian shout her displeasure and just tells everyone to let projectiles ring if you've got them.
Can I try something on them?
What would you like to try? Absolutely. I would roll initiative, but we're not technically in
you want me to roll
initiative.
initiative first?
Not technically. You guys are to act freely.
Okay, can I use Flame Strike on them?
What is Flame Strike? Tell me a story.
A vertical column of divine fire roars down from the heavens in a location of that you specify. Each creature, 40 feet high, it gets them trapped in a cylinder and must make a dexterity saving throw. Or take 46 damage. and 46 radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Very good. So that is in an area. These things are swarming the ship. They are flying about. It will be difficult to try and see them as they are fading in and out of clouds, and the rain and the storm. Visibility is low, but it will also be hard for you to try and catch one of these since it is not a target that seems to be in an area. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So you will need to pick an area if you'd like to do that, and you can hopefully catch one of them in their path of motion.
Want it? That's okay. I'm just gonna ping where I want the column to be.
Absolutely. Where would you like? Okay, so you want a column to rip right down into the aft of the ship, please.
Hang on. Where?
At the stern.
Okay, I wanted to make sure if it's okay.
She wants to fire the ship. I fully support this.
What?
That would be landing in the stern of the ship. This will be doing damage to the ship. I hope you are aware.
No, I can't see. Okay, sorry. Hold on.
This is still the ship. Very good. You can't see. Good acting. I appreciate that. Someone's acting
heck
today.
is evil lens? There it is.
It's safe to say NPCs and deckhands are rushing and getting what minute firearms you guys have procured with smoke powder, trying their darndest to make sure they keep their ammunition dry.
Now would be a good time for anybody with fairy fire to cast it.
Now would be a good time for anybody to do anything. If Glosson were here, Glosson would be jumping into action, I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, you said if anyone has fairy fire? Okay, I pull out Bartleby's wand.
Oh, God. I suppose.
It's one action. You got it.
I assume we're gonna try the randomizer.
Sure, why not?
Well, I mean, you've got other spells too. Don't let me force your hand.
My other spells have not been updated since the dungeon bubble.
While he's doing that, can I try and
I
get
believe
off?
the spells. 1 second. I believe the spells were the classic. Like, you had a classic fireball. You had a classic shrink and enlarge.
Yes, well, without any targets.
You can try and catch one. It's just you kind of got to catch it just right. If you want to like try and visualize one as it dips in and out of vision, you can kind of get its trajectory and do your best to aim for it. If you're trying to aim for one in particular.
You did this on purpose because we have a very large crowd of area of effect people, didn't you?
Absolutely. Thank you for noticing. There's more than one way to get around your bullshit. Well, you think on that in just a second. What were you trying to do, Edgar?
Right now, Edgar's kind of worried about Lottie being up in the crow's nest on her own when these things are airborne. So he's gonna call up really quick if she's good up there or if she wants to trade.
She'll actively shriek trade as she's already making her way down the ladder. She knows these things too well. She does not like them.
Edgar's just gonna hold his arms out so she can jump down. He'll catch her.
She does not think twice and lands in your arms.
He just catches her princess style, sets her down on her feet, and scrambles up the ladder to take her place.
There's a backstory with her and these things.
Oh, Lord.
So Edgar's now in the crow's nest. As soon as he gets up there, he's gonna pull out what looks like a couple of bifocals and put them on. And this is another tool called Evil Lens.
Oh, the lens of truth.
A pair of bifocal lenses that make visible things that are normally imperceptible to the naked eye. Everything from faded footprints to hotspots to monsters and poltergeists.
Nice.
So I have pink, yellow, green, blue, and violet lenses that can see different things. I'm going to try the pink lenses for temperature reading on the entire area.
Yes, you can essentially read the heat signatures of these things.
So
you'll be able to see them, yes.
Yep, so from the crow's nest, I should be able to shout loud enough, because it's Edgar, he's loud as a person. So I'm going to be calling out how many of these there are and where they are located from where I can see them.
Okay, good. Because then that means I have a good visual on where they are.
Oh yeah, Edgar's powerful, but I'm going to be playing him as support. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to all of you. He's not going to I refuse to let him overwhelm gameplay.
Anyway, let's go on with this fight.
So, DM, what is the location of at least one of these so I can shout it?
The closest one would probably be just off here out of everyone's normal field of vision. Edgar, just for your knowledge, you look around and roughly try to do a guesstimation of how many dots you see. You lose count after about 30.
Excuse?
There's only a handful in your immediate area, but this storm is full of these things.
I'm gonna immediately relay this down and say, hey, we have problems.
Okay, so...
Lot of...
1 second. Candela has a magic wand to use. Willow has a magic wand.
Yes, I do.
Please tell me what you'd like to try.
Caster's choice.
Okay, roll me your percentile. Let's see what happens.
62?
62.
$61.
61?
Yep.
Ooh, okay.
And then 65. You're wow, they really like 60 right now.
That's good.
And 67. Okay, that's a lot of 60s.
Ooh, okay. So you have two
There's demonic
choices.
presence is influencing your dice. I apologize.
Clearly. Quit looking at my dice.
Two choices pop up in front of you with Bartleby's wand. Option number 1, you can summon a familiar. The DM's choice. I will let that be the player's choice if it's not too OP. The secondary option is the target becomes loyal to the party and will help them if possible.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Then yes, I will choose the target becomes loyal to the party. My target being any one of the huge giant birds.
Absolutely. So, if with Edgar helping you, you believe you can get the trajectory just right, you've casted this thing a few times, you believe you can nail this thing as it gets close enough to the ship. So, you hold out this bendy crazy straw, and a blast of yellow magic sprites out and plays an interesting light show off of the rain and the clouds as you see it impact, like when you see lightning through clouds, and one of these dark masses of feathers slows its speed and very heavily flaps and saunters closer to the ship. You believe this bird is under your command.
Wonderful.
We're not in initiative, guys. Have at.
Edgar is calling these things, so if you... The way I'm gonna work this is, if you guys want to attack something, just call up to Edgar and he'll point out the closest one to you. Otherwise, I'm... Huh?
Naola wants to attack one.
Okay. Where is the nearest one, other than the one that is currently on the deck of the ship that is apparently under Candella's control? Alright. Alright, so...
Naola, what would you like to try and do?
Flame strike it.
Okay. So, I'm assuming you're just going to try and catch this thing as best you can in front of this bird's trajectory so it will fly through your flame strike. Okay. Excellent. What is the specs again? What's the area? Size? Please?
40 feet high cylinder with a 10-foot radius.
10 foot. Okay, that's workable. Okay, so the closest one Edgar points out is coming on this side of the ship over here. I'm assuming you cast it offside of the ships to not catch the ship on fire.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll give you this little bit over here. So as this one comes flailing around, you manage to blast a jettison of fire. It comes out of the heavens as this bird runs right through it. Despite the rain, you see this thing light up like a barrel full of oil, and a flaming, screeching bird comes out the other side and wildly seems to flail before it just kind of dive bombs in the water, possibly dead. Willow was right. These things are highly flammable. How long does your gout last? Your gout of fire?
As soon as it kills its target, it's done. It dissipates.
One turn. Okay. Good shot. As that easily lights up the night a little more briefly. All right. Well, some of the NPCs are going to start firing off what few shots they can before their weapons start getting a little bit less effective because of rain. A few hits here and there. All right, Mons is down. I will need everybody on the deck to roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Nat 20.
Fine.
8.
20.
Naylor, you're fine. Anyone hit a 10 or less?
I did.
Oh boy.
Oh no!
Excuse me. Sieg?
Oh, actually, I'm below deck.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Do you have to leave soon, Justin? I believe you said you had to leave. Did you not?
Yes, indeed.
I apologize. Well, you being below deck would be good. If you need to hop out, thank you for joining us. Sorry.
Hey, see y'all in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I need to roll for all these random people that are on deck. Okay. Edgar or Naora, one of you will choose to alert Candela. Well, I do
What do you
this.
mean, Willow?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm still going to get used to that.
I will
Flame me how you want.
alert Willow.
Stop it, please.
Spark's having a lot of fun with the eyeball.
So Willow and Naoa shouts out just for you to hit the deck, and I believe you probably do so without question.
I do so.
Okay. I want you guys to be utterly honest with me. I want you to help. I need to roll a d4 for something, and I just rolled it and it bounced off of my mouse pad. Do you want to count that as interference, or do you want me to take the 1? This is a randomizer. This is not effectivity.
Just take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who was number 1? Oh boy. Okay. Alphabetical. So, everyone else, save a couple of NPCs, saved just fine. Edgar, you have a nat 20. You are more than willing to shout to somebody or any of these NPCs to hit the deck as well, if you would like. I assume you do so.
I suppose, from what I could tell, everybody seemed to be able to save themselves just fine.
Well, I'm just saying, in a reaction, you don't know.
Oh yeah.
From your perspective, it looks like these some of these cultist birds are going to swipe the deck.
Oh boy.
And you notice this, and you have just enough time to alert somebody.
Okay.
With a nat 20.
Oh boy.
Alright, I assume you just shout down to the deck in general?
I'm just gonna shout in general, hit the deck.
Okay.
Incoming.
That will save... It'll save like 5 more NPCs from getting injured. Good
Nice.
job. So, as this, there are several of these Razor Crest birds that swipe the deck, talons at the ready. As people hit the deck, they seem to do this almost in unison.
I'm
Willow,
sorry. As soon as you said that, a bunch of crows just like popped into my background because I have like a random background randomizer, and a bunch of crows just popped into my screen.
I told you I've got today planned. Willow, you've seen this before on a flying airship. This ended badly.
This ended very badly.
Everyone who can basically hits the deck as these birds swipe directly over top of the deck. A few of them catch netting. The one under your control is sidelined, and as a few of these cultists just kind of swerve around it, not knowing why it's there. As these gigantic, dark creatures rush the deck of the ship. A few talon marks scratch and scrape the deck of the ship. No one is utterly grabbed or snagged. A few NPCs catch like the back of their rain cloaks, but are perfectly fine. Pulls maybe 2 or 3 feet, but the warning was sufficient. Save for one NPC that does get snagged. One random deckhand does get snatched just right and is pulled off into the darkness screaming. And unfortunately, one of our employee NPCs
What?
did not make their save.
Wait, what?
One of the employee NPCs failed to make a save as well.
Which employee?
Yeah.
Stonewall and Vivian hit the deck. Artemis is too busy driving.
No, Artemis!
No.
Snags the back of his tail cloak and hauls him from the deck of the ship.
Not him.
He goes off screaming, but those who manage to notice this see him be able to, if anything, hear him unsheath his sword before he gets pulled out of vision.
I immediately send an eyeball after him.
Okay, you do so.
He of all people needs to stay.
You watch as he is struggling to slash at this bird, trying to let him go. Lottie and Pelly give a shriek out. Lottie readies her best as she can, hits up to one knee, shouts at anybody who happens to be in her way in this panicked and just this primal, get out of the way, as she just lets a shot fire off in his direction as like a last minute, this is all I can do. Edgar, your eyeball sees this this pellet ammunition just ring right by it, utterly close, and strike into the back of the bird, but it hardly seems to flinch. Artemis is hacking away as he's being pulled farther and farther from the ship until he finally catches it just right. He is shouting all manners of classic pirate profanity at this ungodly creature in his eyes. As he manages to stick this thing just right, it does manage to finally let him go. But you see about 2 or 3 other of these large birds swoop in and just start almost volley tossing him like they're playing with him. This hurts to watch.
Can any of us act again?
You guys can do whatever you want, please.
Bartleby's wand again.
What now?
Caster's choice.
Okay. Magic day. I will effectively say Glossin's going to do Ray of Frost on one of these guys, and depending on a very good roll, very good. You catch one of these things, ice up a wing, and it goes dipping off, unsure if it lands in the water or otherwise. Cast your choice, please.
24.
Alright, tier 1.
85.
Okay, maybe not so helpful, but we'll see.
And then that's 30.
Okay, tier 2.
97.
Ooh, 97. Ooh, I think we'll go with that one. Again, a couple of options form before you, and your first option is grass. Grows in an area of 160 square foot before the wand.
That would be nice if I wanted to summon the Beat Knight.
Correct. Oh, guys, don't forget, you do have a enchanted maidenhead, and you do technically have Dorman with you. And your secondary choice is, I think, going to be a fan favorite. A Type 9 angel arrives to help or hinder, depending on circumstances.
Please!
Let forth the heavens! Smite them, O mighty smiter!
Oh, wait, shit! I just realized something.
That you and I are both technically demons? And this could go very badly?
Good. I'm glad you figured that out before I had to say anything.
I strongly suggest both of us go below deck now.
The prompt here, literally no lie, it says, arrives to help or hinder depending on circumstances.
Frick.
Okay.
Hey, Edgar's gotten along with angels before.
First,
He got it in tight with the angel of death.
first encounter.
An opening in the clouds. An opening in the clouds. As a divine figure ascends from above. Much like the complicated figure, this being is a little bit difficult to comprehend, but you can somewhat make it out. It seems to arrive in a fashion of divine clarity and calmness amidst this storm. I really want to fucking draw this scene now. This sounds amazing. If you can imagine the ship tossing and turning amidst this unfathomable storm, lightning crashing in the distance in the dark, thunder roaring as these large tar-covered birds are swarming the ship, trying to pick off these panicked people, and just this pinpoint of light beams down on the ship with this other divinely figure descending. It floats down, obviously larger than the average individual, larger than, say, orc size, a large individual that could near rival a size of a giant, near one say, descends and seems to the best of your perception and understanding, perceive what is going on here. Now, I will give you guys a wonderful choice, to be fair. I do need to roll to see how this angel interprets the situation. Would you like me to roll for that, or would one of you like to roll for that? The demons.
You, so we can frickin' blame you if things go wrong.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Name your spectrum. I assume Nat 1 is shit in your favor, Nat 20 is good in your favor. Is that agree?
Definitely, yeah.
Alright. Here we go. That is a 10.
Are you kidding me?
This being takes into consideration, it obviously recognizes the two demonic-styled beings. It seems to point out a hand, or maybe two, or maybe the same hand that points at the same time, and it's hard to tell. It obviously recognizes you two. It does not speak, but you instantly know it recognizes you two as what you are. Those who care to acknowledge, Vivian seems to have already dropped to one knee, her hands up in front of her, as if holding well, actually she does. So she actually clutches her sword and pulls down in a praying motion, as if paying tribute to this divine being a paladin. Possibly saying words of grace, protection, or otherwise, and possibly her religious practice. The being... Oh Lord, this is great. I want to roll just to see how bad this is going to get shit on for them. Okay. So, one of these dumb as hell cultists, well, you are familiar how single-minded these cultists can be, literally runs across and does their best attempt to scratch this divine creature. Right around what you perceive as the facial region. It impacts, and you can tell the bird drags on something from friction, keeps on going. The being's head seems to turn in that same direction. The hand that was previously pointed at you two points over at this bird, and you see it ignite in the distance and just plummet to the water.
Oh my god.
It waves 2, maybe 3 hands. It's hard to tell. And you see several just divine lights shine down, much like Neora's gout of flame. It just seems to take out one by one these Razor Crest cultists, almost in a disintegrating fashion.
The two that are with Artemis, what's going on?
You see, you have no clue how far. Well, I don't know. Can you tell distance? How far your little eyeball is away?
I have a general feeling, but it's not exact.
Okay. This bird has not stopped trying to get as far away from the ship as possible. These birds are well out of range, you believe. I assume the eyeball kind of sees in most directions?
Yeah.
Okay. So, from your perspective, behind you, you could see a few of these pillars of divine light take out birds, but you are well away from the ship. Artemis is doing his damnedest to just get out of the clutches of these birds that are just continuously snagging him as he sets himself free. He is getting scratched. To hell, his clothing is getting shredded. At this point, he's kind of ditched the jacket that's kind of ripped in half. He's putting up the fight of his life. you see these birds are not trying to just kill him. They are trying to take him off, most likely to wherever they're going, possibly for food or possibly take him away. Maybe just toying with him. It is entirely unclear. But he is losing strength, and you can tell he's having a hard time until he just gets to that point where it's just primal rage, and he's just screaming. And he manages to, at one point, just cut just right and literally cut one of the feet that is holding him, and he goes into a free fall. One of these other cultists dives down to snag him, and he manages to slash at it just right as it comes by. It misses him, and he just plummets into the water.
Is he alive?
He plummets into the water. You do not see him immediately surface, but you do see several of these birds dive into the water like ducks, presumably after him. There is a froth and a foam, waves, there's commotion, until a moment or two passes and you just see a few of these birds awkwardly, like at the water surface. They're not meant to be in the water. You can tell they're having a hard time. They're somewhat surfacing. You see several of them wildly wringing their heads back as if they're getting pieces of something. You believe Artemis did not make it.
No!
It looks like, Cade, you're not the only one who's going to be getting a bunch of knives in their backs.
At this, one of the free cultists that are roaming around will take a snatch at your eyeball if you say otherwise.
Those things are really damn good at dodging, so it's probably gonna be able to dodge away. Let me scroll all the way up and see
that's valid. I will accept that perfectly fine, but they will now turn attention onto your little eyeball and start trying to attack that.
It's gonna try. It's gonna start to fly around and dip and dodge and try to get the attention of as many as possible as it just dodges.
All right, Willow, you still have one of these birds under your control.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to.
This angel is helping.
Idea. I tell it to rescue Artemis.
Unless Edgar has foretold what Edgar is seeing, as far as you know, Artemis is still being carried off in the distance. Edgar, have you voiced anything? Do you voice anything?
Not yet.
Okay. Yes, Willow, what is your plan?
Well, I just wanted to tell it to go rescue Artemis. I don't know what it's doing.
As of right now, it's just kind of waiting for orders. So you pretty much tell this to point and fetch, and this thing does turn off and fly. It seems determined to do something.
Excellent. I scream at it, alive, please!
I'm just gonna kind of roll with Edgar is currently busy with other things and didn't hear this.
Yeah, that's fair. It's still commotion. These birds are still swarming the ship. Still getting close. They seem to either be lining up to, like they would possibly do another swipe if the divine angel wasn't still here. So they seem to be kind of encircling this thing, trying to make of it. A few of them are feebly trying to attack it, but are getting obliterated by this thing that gives no two shits what these puny ants care to do. So for the most part, these birds are, well, preoccupied with the, well, we'll say the elephant in the room.
Oh my
Peanut?
God.
Yes, Peanut.
Oh boy. Meanwhile, I'm going to...
I'm talking because I want one. We'll just put them back here.
Oh, what the...
What the heck did my...
Hello?
Huh? Hang on.
What's up?
My headset. What the hell? I stepped up and unplugged my headset, which is a wireless headset, and now my audio's coming through my speakers.
Okay, it's a new development. Edgar's gone deaf.
Hang on. The hell's happening here?
Yay,
Actually,
technical
this
problems.
It actually works. As seeing that the angel figure is giving a hell of a... Wonderful. Seeing the cultists are not really liking this large divine being, and they're literally getting picked off one by one. Willow, you are familiar when cornered, they kind of go into a last ditch moment. And as near as you can tell, Lottie is doing, Pelly is doing his damnedest to restrain Lottie, who at this point looks like she is just trying to jump over the side of the ship. Screaming, trying to go after Artemis.
Can I go over to them? I wanna help restrain her. We will find him.
Okay, yeah, you try to preoccupy some of your time and try to restrain her. She's swatting at you, she's swatting at Pelly, she doesn't want any of this, she needs to get to her friend. She's struggling in between trying to just get free of you and jump over the side of the ship into haphazardly trying to get her weapon together just to kind of shoot off from a distance. She's a mess. Edgar, you can warn everybody, but I do need everyone to roll me another dexterity saving throw. If, Edgar, you want to warn everybody that these birds are swarming the side of the ship to do something again, you can roll with advantage.
Ugh. Well, that's already a 19
Absolutely.
and an 18.
So those few that are still interested in the ship show up, hover just about the edges of the railing, open their maws, and just spew this noxious-looking purple haze onto the deck of the ship.
Nobody breathe that in!
And if that didn't confirm you have advantage, you do now. I want everyone to roll me a dex saving throw with advantage.
So that's a 19, or...
Okay.
Nope, it's 19.
Does that poison gas or whatever it is affect me too?
It is technically confusion gas. Confusion gas would affect Edgar.
20. Not 20.
Would it reach below decks?
It would be safe to say that this could permeate some of the floorboards or the deck. They're trying to douse the deck in it, so it would be a good idea to make sure everybody on the ship is aware of this. So yes, I would roll just to be safe.
Okay.
With a nat, those who roll a nat 20 can help those who may fail.
Wait, here's a question. Does Amons even breathe?
That is a good question.
Yeah, they don't.
Can I?
Doesn't breathe.
Would this count as a poison gas in the air or no?
No, it is technically a confusion gas.
Damn it.
All right.
Okay, well I rolled a 19, so I'm fine.
Okay.
I can't believe I forgot that a Mons doesn't need to breathe.
So, fortunately, nobody fails their saves. Everybody is well aware. Okay, something gas do not want. The rain helps dampen part of it as everyone shields themselves, and this gas dissipates very quickly with the rain. The divine angel, having seen this, gives worthy enough cause to say that these things are absolutely not on your side, and with a wave of the hand just seems to erase these things from existence.
Yay, Angel!
Edgar, you can see through your little eyeball there is one Razor Crest cultist that seems to be coming in your direction, different from the ones who are trying to attack your eyeball. You believe this may be the one that is under Willow's control. However, at this one, as well as the others, seem to vanish from existence.
Is it carrying anything, even if it's a body?
It is coming to meet you to get to where Artemis fell in the water. It vanishes before it gets to you.
No!
Can Edgar do something really, really stupidly impulsive?
This will possibly work how I want to end this. Go, what would you like to try and do?
Edgar has a way to try and get the body himself, but it's really dumb and impulsive.
Let me know what you're thinking, and I can make this work or not work.
Okay, so he has something called Evil Flyer, which essentially turns him into a frickin' jet. He can go and grab it himself.
I can make this work. If you want to go make the trek out to do that.
He can, it's just knowing his impulse control, he won't tell anybody what he's doing before he summons this thing that looks like a giant wasp.
Okay, so as soon as you do exactly that. As soon as you do this, you get this overbearing sense of you best behave yourself. As you see this large divine creature just points at you as if to urge some form of warning, just to you in general. It also points down to Willow before it slowly begins to ascend and fade back up into the clouds as the divine light closes up and the storm is lighter, but still continues.
Was it doing that? Okay, I was just wondering if it was doing that because I'm a demon, or if it was doing that in reaction to Edgar summoning the flyer.
Maybe a mixture of both, probably more so the former.
Okay.
And like that, Edgar is off with some sort of phantasm nonsense like the eyeballs. So you do your best and arrive to where your little eyeball is and to your last known whereabouts where Artemis fell into the water.
He's gonna dive straight in and see if he can find a body or something.
I'm getting flashbacks from Hercules.
I'm sorry.
You dive in, and piercing the water, you are immediately met with shreds of clothing and the familiar feeling. I'm sure being a demon, you were very utterly aware. Blood, massive amounts of blood in the water.
No.
You dive deeper, and there is viscera. There are bits.
No!
When you saw the cultists reeling back as if they had plucked something you believed they had, in fact, gotten their meal.
I'm mad. I'm getting very mad. Can I find anything? Just something. Like a piece of his clothing.
There is about a good half to a quarter of his large coat he wore. Shredded still, but that is the most solid piece you can find in quantity.
He is at least gonna...
I will say you do manage to, you do find his sword. It has thoroughly chipped and about ready to be broken from the final struggle, but you do manage to find that. Still sinking to the bottom, you can snatch.
He'll grab both of those, remount the flyer and return. I'm just waiting for the token to come back. Edgar will come down on the deck of the ship. As the evil flyer thing dissipates, those who care to look will notice that it seems to dissipate rather suddenly, and instead of his usual grace, he will drop almost like a stone onto the deck of the ship, He seems winded. He seems tired, which is unusual.
There's no noise, but there's a... Excuse me. Just a secondary thud to the deck of the ship as Lottie just hits the deck of the ship. If she could make noise, she would be screaming. She seems to be doing so, but there's no sound. She's noticed what you were holding.
He'll place them on the deck of the ship and just very quietly grunt out a, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
There are no more cultists. Everything is dying down. The storm begins to ease up, and it's just clouds. There is pain, there is sadness, but life has to continue. And unfortunately, that's going to be my game. Because I know someone has to leave.
Thank you everybody for joining us for Diet D&D. I have been D-Rez of Renegade Studios. What's up?
Pardon?
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cade. What's up?
No, I was just saying, otherwise known as the Death of Souls.
Yes, that too. But we will hopefully wrap this up next weekend. Until then, thank you all for stopping by.
Thank you for joining.
And have a great week.